So after being shot, obviously my space jellyfish has got a little bit wibbly wobbly and has decided to run away just to get out of potentially any more kind of range attacks from Skerathron.
Because of course I do have 2 more activations, so I could have shot again with him.
Yeah.
In a later turn.
But also you could have got a lot closer.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of negate that potentially and move away so you've still got to move. But then that does mean it's your activation.
So I think it's time for an overdrive action.
Boom! Now this is when hopefully snazzy graphics will come up from Matt. Overdrive will spin on, the board will explode into flames.
Yeah, loads of neon.
Yeah, loads of neon. Okay, so an overdrive is basically each player has got a once per rush ability, but you can only activate an overdrive once per rush as well. So although you've got 3 players, they've each got their own overdrive ability. You can only activate one of those per rush. And that's a balancing issue, actually a bit like the draft. So where the draft is, you can't always select the most powerful team. With the overdrive ability, you've really got to make sure you choose the right time to use it. Now, is this the right time?
I think it is the right time.
Okay, so who's are you going to use?
So I'm going to use Caradon again.
Caradon, he's your favourite?
He is my favourite.
Yeah.
So whenever I play anybody from this day forward, they're always going to take Caradon and pick them first. Thanks,
lifelong Caradon player.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks.
Okay.
So his overdrive, which is on the back of the card.
Yeah, so that's worth pointing out actually. So on the back of, on the front, you've got all their abilities, all the always on, and then if you turn it over, obviously these are prototype cards, you can see what their ability is. Now the reason for having it on the back is just so we've got plenty of room on the front for all the snazzy abilities, and then boom, on the back,
Ultra
overdrive.
snazzy.
Yeah.
Okay, his overdrive is called, wait for it, Blood in the Water. Very shark themed, I like it. Okay, shall I read it out?
Please, yes.
Okay, so spend before making a slam action with this player. If the slam action is against a player that has any damage counters, the slam has a +2 modifier to the opposing, and the opposing player may only dodge. This cannot be used when slamming back.
Oh dear. Now, unfortunately, I think you're going to use it against Brank.
Well, yeah, he's the only one with any damage, luckily for me.
So you don't have to be, obviously before you started over here and ran in, so you're not adjacent this time.
But I won't get that additional dice bonus for running in, will I?
No, you won't. No. So sorry, you are adjacent this time. Yeah, so you'll lose that bonus.
So I start with 3. So it says a +2 modifier. What does that mean exactly?
So that means you add an extra 2 dice.
Okay.
So if you had moved in, you'd be on 6 dice now as well, because it's a +2 for you treat it like a normal slam, and then you add 2.
And this is extra good against somebody like Bran, because as you said in one of the earlier clips, that his evasion, his dodging ability is quite poor.
Yes.
But his slamming is quite strong. But this actually stops him, allowing him to slam back.
Yeah.
So 5 dice, beautiful. On a strength 4, so I'm looking for 4 plus.
You fluffed it. So you got 1.
Got 1.
Okay, so that gives me some hope. It's also worth pointing out, like I said earlier, these are kind of work in progress prototype cards. So some of the stats might change a little bit. So if you're seeing some stats in this one, they might change when the actual final game.
Are these work in progress prototype dice as well?
No, the dice they're the final ones. So if they don't work, you're in trouble.
So I've moved my counter to say I've used for rush 1.
Yeah.
I've used my overdrive, and now it's on the red. So
yeah, that's just a visual reminder to remind you you've done it. Okay, so now I can only dodge. So again, I start with 3 dice. I don't lose anything this time because you've got no one behind me. Obviously, if you had managed to get round the back of me and do your blood in the water, that would have been even more dangerous as well.
Or even just roll a little bit better.
Well, and that. Most importantly, that. So my agility is 5 plus. So I get 1.
So evens.
So in that case, nothing happens. There's no turn to face, or there's no movement. No one takes any wounds. We both just stand there growling at each other. I'd actually probably be laughing.
Okay. So let's just do a theoretical where my dice actually weren't very bad, and I had actually got all 5 hits.
Whoa!
And you, with your poor evasion, your poor dodge,
Yeah.
you weren't able to save anything.
Okay, so you've just... Wow. So you've just put... Well, I would have had can't feel a thing.
Yeah.
So that would have still given me 4 wounds. So I would have taken my wound counters. There's 4. And that would actually then take me to 0 HP. So in that case, what happens is I come off the board. You know, I have like a short circuit. Maybe my arm pops off, something like that. And I would be put onto one of these knocked out spaces down here. And then obviously you would have followed up or stayed where you were.
Or laughed in a shark-like manner.
I don't know how sharks would... How do you think a shark would... Exactly right. So now what's happened is Brank's come off. That means he can't come on for the rest of this rush. But it's not game over for Brank. It's not like he's knocked out now for the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
What'll happen is he'll come on next rush if he wants. He'll clear all the wound counters off. Any status effects as well, because some characters, like Scarathron actually, can poison characters. So if they get wiped out in the meantime, all that's wiped off. Mm-hmm. Tigrax can stalk a character or can reduce their movement as well, and all that would be wiped off. Okay. So basically it's like the Medibots, or in Brank's case, the engineers are there, ready to fix them up and shove them back on, ready for the next rush. Now when I come back on, I kind of put myself there at the end of the rush to remember, and then I can actually come on from anywhere along my back line. So I come on, that would be 1 like that, and then 2, 3, 4. So Brank will live to fight another day. So that is your overdrive. We won't bother showing any of mine because you've obviously done such a great job on yours.
Pretending to do a successful overdrive, yeah.
So I guess what we'll do now is we'll play a few more rounds and then we'll show you kind of what happens at the end of a rush as well.